champion. Trigger. Get to choose that Fiery Temper, hit the Elvish Mystic on that. So, really, really pretty. You know, they have the turn 1 Mystic and to still leave champion start. How's it going, y'all? Titan Fan 920. Today we're here with a little bit of Izzet Phoenix. This is an archetype that I've not really played a whole bunch of, to be honest. But I have a friend who loves the deck and really enjoyed it. And seen some others have success with it and it looked pretty fun. So I wanted to actually try it out myself. For anyone who hasn't played this, the whole goal of the deck is you have your Thing in the Ice here in Pioneer. Get this out, cast 4 spells, flip it, and you've got a hasty 7/8 that's returning all the non-horror creatures to hand. Pretty good. And the namesake of the deck, Arclight Phoenix, trying to get these in the bin, cast your 3 spells per turn, get it out, start swinging. So it's like a very stormy in a way kind of deck. A lot of fun, a lot of different decisions to make. Not sure how great it honestly is, but it's a lot of fun to play. So you're going to see some gameplay of me playing it. The commentary will be post-commentary, so you won't see my mouth, my beautiful face, so get it while it's hot. Do you like that? There you go. But we're going to play some games with this, see how it goes. It's a lot of fun, I think. Hope you guys enjoy. Let's go. Alright, so the first game of the day here, we take a look at our opening hand, and it has no lands. So we just pitch that back. This mold is 6, we'll take it. Not how we want to start, but we'll go there. Bottom of Treasure Cruise here, because it's kind of hard to Treasure Cruise when you're just going to 6 and have nothing to do. Start off here, holding up Lightning Axe if we need to, otherwise passing the turn. They play Lumbering Falls. We'll go ahead and go to our turn. Now we get to play down an island. We could Chart a Course, we could Merfolk Secretkeeper. But instead, we'll just play a Thing in the Ice and pass a turn. We got ammo for spells. Next turn. They just start off with the Land of War Elves. Okay. Anything else? So they kept a 1-lander with an elf. Risky business over there. So we start off doing a little bit of Venture Deeper with our Merfolk Secretkeeper. Trigger. Throw some cards down in the yard. One of them was an Arclight Phoenix. By yeah. Here we go ahead, shock in. We could have used the Lightning Axe, but I didn't want to discard anything there. So we go ahead, tap blue, tap a red, Izzet Charm on the Land of War Elves since they're struggling on mana anyway. Get that down. We have our Thing in the Ice with 2 counters now, and they're at 1 land. Not looking good for them over there. Next turn here, they play another Lumbering Falls and pass turn. They're not doing much of anything. So we come back to our turn here, and we get a Fiery Temper. So we have that Lightning Axe Fiery Temper combo going on, which is pretty nice. Here we start off with a Chart a Course. So that way, we can draw 2, discard 1, and you know one of them is going to be this Fiery Temper. That Fiery Temper, we go ahead, just bolt them in the face there. We get a flipper Thing in the Ice. That's probably game. We have a flip Thing in the Ice. Have them down to 10 damage while they're at 2 Lumbering Falls. Yikes. So, we got an Awoken Horror. We go to swing, but they concede. Let's go to game 2, see if they can't do something else. So, I'm not sure what we're playing against exactly. We go ahead and bring in 2 Mystical Disputes because we know they're blue-based. Looking around, seeing what to take out here. Decided to take out some Treasure Cruise, just we're not really sure what we're going against. So, we start with this. Let's go. So, looking at the opening hand, not too shabby. We have an Island of Sulfur Falls and a Thing in the Ice. So we got things to do here. We got plenty of 1-mana spells if we get a Phoenix in the yard, so that's good. They start off just playing a Forest and passing turn. So, we'll start off with a little bit of Steam Vents, and we'll go ahead and shock that in. That way we're holding up Shock, we're holding up Opt. Kind of have her pick of the litter here, which is pretty good for us. What do you know? It's Lumbering Falls once again, and they have nothing to do. Don't keep bad hands, folks. On end step, we'll go ahead and opt. Find a Lightning Axe, and they've not really shown many creatures here, so we decided to bottom that. Draw another land, which isn't the worst. Spirebluff Canal. So we go ahead, play that. Let's go ahead and throw down Thing in the Ice. That way we got Strategic Planning, Shocked, Izzet Charm. We got things to do here on the next turn. If they don't take care of this, but they don't, you know. Simic's a color combination, doesn't have a lot of removal here. So they start off with a Jade Light Ranger, and we're hoping this finds at least 1 land, just because we want them to be able to keep this at 2 toughness, which it does. They hit an Arboreal Grazer, in the yard, and then a Temple Garden. So past turn here, looking pretty good for us now. We can play the Sulfur Falls. We go ahead. Looks like we're going to do a little Izzet Charm, or strategic planning to start off with. Let's take a little look-see-loo. Izzet Charm, like this is some tough decisions to make here. We're thinking. We go ahead and take the extra shock. If they're going to be playing some Explorer creatures, then we can shock things in response to their triggers. So we pass the turn for now. Let's see what they've got for us. So they are Bant. Finally get the white mana coming in. They swing in. We're not gonna fall for that bluff. We'll block here. So we block. Take that damage. Ain't no thing, chicken wing. End of turn here. Just shock that Jadelight Ranger. Just show them they don't try to bluff us like that. Come on now. In the end, it'll die. Is dead. So our turn here. We have 2 counters left on Thing in the Ice here, so we can easily flip it. Go ahead, start off with a little Merfolk Secretkeeper, or sorry, the adventure side of that. We'll venture deeper into the deck. Trying to find an Arclight Phoenix to go in there. Which we do. Phoenix in the bin, good start for the home team here. We'll go ahead and shock their face. Get them down to 18. Flip Awoken Horror. But we're a little bit greedy. We want more than that. So we'll shock here. And then luckily we have these 2 islands we no longer need anymore. So we'll Izzet Charm here. We will draw 2, discard 2. That's a pretty easy discard. Even thought about doing the Lightning Axe there, but we definitely wanted the Treasure Cruise, so it's pretty easy. Treasure Cruise is a great draw there because it's pretty much a 1 mana. Draw 3 cards at that point. So Arclight Phoenix coming back. Awoken Horror ready to attack. And we are swinging. So we swing in. Swinging 10 damage, trying to get them down to 8. So we got them down to 8 and still just not really sure of what they're trying to accomplish here, honestly. This deck just kind of moped around and did a bunch of nothing here. And they concede. Game number 2 here. Let's go. See how it goes. We'll be on the draw. Land heavy hand, but we have some Charter Course here. We have a Fiery Temper to discard, something we need to, so we keep that. Have the potential to do some dirty stuff here. They start off with a Once Upon a Time for free. They find a forest. Play a Botanical Sanctum. And the Elvish Mystic is down. So now we're at a place where we kind of get punished for not having a Wild Slash or anything like that. Playing Fiery Temper's Lightning Act instead. So their turn 2. 3 mana for a Stillleaf Champion. So we have our single mountain sitting here. They're Elvish Mystic and Stillleaf championing us. Doesn't feel good, my man. However, we draw Lightning Axe, which is a very, very timely draw here with the Lightning Axe. So we're able to play another mountain. We go ahead, cost this was additional cost. We target the Stillleaf Champion with a Lightning Axe, and then we can conveniently pitch this Fiery Temper and hit their Elvish Mystic with that. So Lightning Axe on the Stillleaf Champion, trigger. Get to choose that Fiery Temper, hit the Elvish Mystic on that. So really, really pretty. You know, they have the turn 1 Mystic and so Stillleaf Champion start. We get to have double removal spell there. Feels good. However, you know what doesn't feel good is Oko. Oko is loco. Even in Pioneer, he's still a good card. They make a food and pass a turn. And unfortunately, we're looking pretty dire straits here. Draw a Shivan Reef. We can play a 3/3 elk named Thing in the Ice. So that's what we decided to do, because we really have not too much else to do here anyways. And no real good answers in the board of this in the first place. So opponent with their Oko. First they play a Heart of Huron, which is also just a wonderful blocker. And with Oko having such high loyalty, works really well with it. So that's a combo if anybody's looking to explore something in Simic colors is disgusting. Because now we can't even attack into it with that Heart of Huron. So they pass the turn. They are just beating the snot out of us right now. We draw another land. Boo. So we're deciding what to do with the lands here. We decide to start off with a little chart of course. So we go ahead. We'll take one from the blue. Chart of course. Looking to draw in some action. And instead we draw into another 3/3 elk and a Spirebluff Canal, which is about useless. So we pitch the canal since it comes in tapped anyway. Not played a land per turn yet. So I go ahead and play Shivan Reef. Take more damage. Play another 3/3 elk. Just feels bad. This just feels unwinnable at this point. Oko is just too good. That with Heart of Quran is a pretty disgusting combo if you don't have removal for it. So they tick up here, making the food token. Waiting to see what they do here. They still have 4 cards in hand too. I mean, this is where Oko just runs away with the game, and it feels really, really bad. So they go ahead and crew Heart of Quran, get that damage in. 4 in the air, nothing we can do about it. And the vigilance on that allows us to still stay back as a blocker. It's a disgusting combo. We draw an island, and at this point we realize we're probably pretty dead here. We can swing in and suicide one of our guys, but it doesn't really matter here. We figure, let's go cruising and see what we can find. So we delve away, we treasure cruise. We find Spirebluff Canal, a little bit too late. Fiery Temper and Opt, and we figure that's enough there. Let's go to the next game. So Disputes come in, Spell Pierces come in. Bring in the Abraded to come in. We have Rending Volley and Fry too, but if anybody's played with Oko, you know how high that loyalty is. It really just doesn't do a whole lot. So we decided to leave those out for now. So we're in the Think Tank here. Figuring Shocks. Shocks don't really hit too much except for Elvish Mystics. And now you're just seeing the sideboarding of a very confused man. So Treasure Cruises all go away. Just a little bit too slow for this. We have 2 cards we need to get rid of as well. We decided to keep the Shocks because they can still hit the Mystics, but the Fiery Temper is just a little bit too slow. So game number 2 here. Let's see if we can't do any better here. Feels like it's a bad matchup for us here. This hand is great though. We have Lightning Axe held up. We can do some Merfolk Secretkeeper things. We got options. And here it's pretty tempting just to play the Secretkeeper to play the sorcery side of it. That way, if they play a Mystic or a Goose or whatever, and we can just Izzet Charm if they try to play a Oko, which would feel nice. So we start off, we venture deeper. Shock, Lightning Axe, 2 lands go to the graveyard. Meh. They start off with a little Hash Heap Oasis and Shock in. So they got the Goose on 1. So that's kind of what we wanted. We're trying to kind of tempt them into playing an Oko here. So instead of Lightning Axing it, we go ahead, just pass the turn. See if they'll fall into our plan here. So we see that breeding pool, we hope, and they shock it. They shock it. Looks like an Oko, right? Mama's wrong again. Elvish Mystic coming down. And they still have the mana now to play something else they need to. So, Elvish Mystic down. What we got here? Lovestruck Beast. A little Heart's Desire going on, so they can make a 1/1. So, that kind of stinks. We decide, let's go ahead and Izzet Charm that, so that way we don't have to deal with the 5/5 on the other end. So we try to Izzet Charm it. Tap out. And unfortunately, they just have all the answers here, just beating us down. Sack the food with Gilded Goose. And we get Stepper Denial on turn 2. Feels terrible. So they just absolutely destroy us here in this little interaction. So now we're trying to see if there's anything we can do at this point. We draw another land here. We're holding 4 out of 5 cards to lands. Not seeing much point of trying to do much here anymore. So we'll go ahead and pass the turn for now. But it's not looking good for us. Their turn, they can play Lovestruck Beast. We at least have Lightning Axe for it, so we're going to try. We're not going to give up yet. I wanted to still hold up the mana for Izzet Charm here, so I didn't play the Secretkeeper, because it really doesn't do much in the first place right now. They play another Heart's Desire. Get in with their 1/1 attacker. No big deal. We can take that. Second main, they decided not. I mean, they have to have something held up here because they wasn't playing their Lovestruck Beast. Fortunately, we draw yet another land, which is not good for us. So we decide now we have the mana. We can go ahead, play the Secretkeeper, have some kind of defense sitting around. We play that. Still probably should have just played Steven's Tap there, but we're trying to just hold up all kinds of different things. In the turn, they make a food, and it just feels real bad. This is one of those matchups you kind of need a thing in the ice left unchecked here to be able to throw everything back to hand. But even then, like if you're throwing a Lovestruck Beast back to hand, they're just making tokens, and that ain't no fun. So even on 2 mana, they're doing things because of their mana dorks. They go ahead and play a Lovestruck Beast. Now we can Lightning Axe that, discarding one of our many lands anyway, so that cost doesn't really matter too much. But it's possible they just have another Stubborn Denial here. We pitch the Steam Vents away. And that's one Lovestruck Beast gone. Fortunately, they have another one sitting back there ready to roll. Go to a draw, need something good. Fiery Temper is probably just a little bit too big, a little too small ball for what we're trying to do here. We play the Shivan Reef, which we may have should have held on to, so that way, in case we had an Izzet Charm come up, we could have looted it away. But we're doing what we can here. It's pretty dire straits for us anyway, and it's not looking good. So no attacks with the big old 0-4 here. So we go to their turn. Yorvo comes down. And at that point, we know we're pretty dead. But we don't go out like chumps, you know. If we're going to go out, we're going to send a message. So they go to attacks. We got news for them. Fiery Temper on their Yorvo, just to send a message. Do 3 to it. Show them who's boss. They're the boss. Who are we kidding? And that's enough for here. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and just go to the next game. Fun times. So 1-1 with Izzet Phoenix here. Trying to get above 500 with it. Let's see how it goes, y'all. We'll be on the play. And this hand seems okay. Only 2 lands. We'll need some more lands here. But we have multiple things to do here. We have Thing in the Ice. We have Chart of Course. Being able to push a Phoenix. We have Izzet Charm if need be. We got things. Opponent starts off with a Mountain. Plays a Blister Coil Weird. Had to look at that one because I wasn't sure what that did. I just know it's a weird card. Am I right? So we have options here. We could bolt it down. We could play Chart of Course and draw. We decided to just go ahead and start off with Thing in the Ice for now. Doubtful that they have much removal here to do 4 damage or something in their main deck. They can pump that weird up. We're not going to block with it if they go to combat. So they go to combat here. We let it do its thing. Not worried about taking this extra damage here. Second main, they will light up the stage. Well done, opponent. So now they have a 2-2 that's untapped. Cool little card. They'll play a Mountain and a Soulscar Mage. And they still have a Warlord's Fury backed up ready to go. So it's a good start from them doing what they do. We're looking for a land here, and we find one. So here, just to be the most mana efficient and still get rid of something, we can Chart a Course. Now we have an option. We can either discard Fiery Temper or discard Arclight Phoenix. Really just trying to not die right now, so we decided to discard the Fiery Temper. And I'm not sure which one of the two is the most important, but I figure since the Soulscar Mage can put the -1/-1 counters on our Thing in the Ice, then that leaves it, you know, that's more important to us than the Blister Coil Weird is. So we take care of that instead, even though the Weird can do more damage. So we pass the turn here. We still have a Steam Vents. We have multiple things to do next turn. Got a good chance if we really just want to be able to get that Phoenix in the bin and attack, we can. So they play a Warlord's Fury. 2-2. And at this point, they're kind of just cycling for things to do, I believe. And that's where these decks can look kind of silly when they're just having to play bad cards that don't really do anything. And we know about that because we do the same thing in Izzet Phoenix. So they now decide to crash through. So they have First Strike, Trample 3/3, Watch Out World. They go to attack here. It's possible we could just call their bluff here and block it. because they haven't played another land, but they could also have something else to do. And I decided that's probably actually good value here. Just make them have it. They didn't have it though. They sideboard. I figured if they had it there, if they wanted to play another land and shock it, that's just such a big trade for us that we're okay with that. And they rage quit, so fine by us. 2-1 now with the deck. We start off on the draw though. Let's see if we can actually win a game on the draw with this beast. Openers, pretty sexy. We got the Opt on turn 1. Charter Courses, Lightning Axe. We got answers for a little bit of everything. Playing our friend Manapot, who is on Twitter. So if any of you are on Twitter, Manapot's on Twitter, and it's one of my buddies now. MTGO over here making friends. And not the start you ever want to see. The turn 1 Grazer throwing down a land. Because we have Lightning Axe that can remove that, but nobody wants to target a Grazer with a Lightning Axe. Come on now. So they showing some Sultai colors here. We decided to just play an island, pass the turn, holding up Opt. Turn 2 for a friend Manapot. Let's see what he's got here for us. He's got a Stomping Ground, so he's got all kinds of colors. He plays that tapped and passes the turn. He could be holding up some kind of counter magic here. He could be holding up some Assassin's Trophy. There's a multitude of things he can do here. Fiery Temper. We try to think here. It looks like they don't really play much of anything where this is going to be good for. So we decided to put that Fiery Temper on the bottom. Because I don't care about the Grazer that much, even though it can block our Arclight Phoenix, which is annoying. Unfortunately, we draw another Lightning Axe. But we have an easy choice here. We can discard this Arclight Phoenix, get that in the bin. Hands looking okay, I guess, but these Lightning Axes are looking really bad. Izzet Charm could be good there if they go to 4 mana here. We know at the time we think it's a Field of the Dead deck, so we can Izzet Charm their Hour Promise. Excuse me. So we draw another Izzet Charm here, which is actually not a bad draw. So we pass the turn here, holding up Charm. Let's see what they've got. So he missed a land drop last time, so we're seeing what he wants to do this time. Never a good sign when the Ram deck is missing land drops like they are. But they go to end step here. So we figure, why not? We got plenty of things to do here. Let's go ahead and get rid of this. So that way, hopefully next time if we get our Arclight Phoenix coming back, we'll have it. The skies will be clear for it. Draw for the turn is a shock. So we shock this in. Start off with a little Charter Course. Here's where I remember making a pretty big mistake here. We need to discard a card. And I definitely meant to do the Fiery Temper. But in my head, I'm so used to doing this with Lightning Axe that I discard Lightning Axe instead. So, I feel like a big dum-dum there. Still, we do that. We go ahead, dive deeper. Put the top 4 cards in the yard. And then with that last mana we have left over, we go ahead and shock them. Really not the sequencing we wanted to do with this. We really wanted to Fiery Temper there instead last time, but is what it is. We're just missing out on 3 points of damage here. Still only 1 Arclight Phoenix from doing all that, so that's a lot of work just for 3 damage, but nonetheless, the boy's flying, he's swinging, he's in the air. Will it get through damage, though, is the only question. So Arclight, take him down to 13 here. Not bad considering the awkwardness of our hand. And now you see me pointing at Rage and his Fiery Temper, because I'm just still mad about it happening. He decides to Assassin's Trophy the Phoenix, which is a little annoying, but we can't get him back, so there's that. Here, we'll take him out, and just in case we randomly got to discard something, we can discard Fiery Temper for its madness cost. Manapot is main phase Growth Spiraling, which is never a good sign. And doesn't hit the land there. Unfortunate. You know that's a deck that plays a lot of lands, so not hitting him like that's really unlucky on his side. Look at sideboard here. We figure we probably want to fly over the top because we still think they're a Field of the Dead deck. So we put in the 1 Crackling Drake. And then from here, not really sure what we're going to do. Yeah, you see, 27 lands, you can't hit a 4th. I feel that. Manapot was super cool the whole time, and he's been a really fun guy to talk to on Twitter. So, again, he's got... Check his stuff out if you know the fella. He's a solid one. So we get done sideboarding here. We'll be on the draw yet again. Opener, 1 land. It's We're one land away from this being really, really nice. But unfortunately, we just can't do that. We got a mulligan. And we kind of get punished there because we get yet another one lander. But it's at least an easy mulligan if we have 2 Treasure Cruise in hand. We definitely don't want that. So we'll throw a Treasure Cruise away. Pass a turn. Hope to draw on some lands, y'all. Here I am babbling away over to babbling at Mana Pot, telling about the deck I ordered. Because we're besties now. Looking to draw a land here on my upkeep. Or on my draw step, because this one island just isn't going to do it. Instead, we get a Merfolk Secretkeeper, which we can play. So we'll go ahead and just do that now. Mill some stuff away, hopefully finding a Phoenix to put in there. Instead, we find 2 lands, a Planning, and a Lightning Axe. And I probably could have taken these Lightning Axes out, honestly, but I want to keep them just in case he had Golos. So he then reveals to us he has 5 color land destruction. And it's cool because he's actually been playing some pretty neat spiky decks on Twitter that I've seen. I think he's one to have this one, takes it for a ride, have some fun with it, nothing too serious. Grillgill Gate coming in tapped. Pass the turn, really looking for a land here for us. Do we get it? No land for us, sad day. We have to just pass the turn here. Not fun. Little O in the chat. This time we're the ones missing lands. Can't feel too sorry for us. We did keep us a 1 lander, however, we did mulligan before, and just, it's kind of hard to go to 5 in these kind of decks because it only plays like 20 lands in the first place. Turn 3. Can we get a land? He's Growth Spiral. On our upkeep. Here we opt. We're trying real hard to find a land. Treasure Cruise is the opposite of that. Steam Vents is a land. It's probably a little late at this point, though. We go ahead and just let that come in tapped. And they're about to be at 5 lands while we're sitting at 2, so we're probably donezo here. But we look and see what he's got here. Let's just try to get some more information before we concede. He shocks in the Blood Crypt. He's got all 5 killers on board now. And he plays Golos. From there, I know we're probably donezo here, so let's go ahead and concede the game. One more game for the video, and let's see how it goes. So now seeing what he's doing, sideboard-wise, we look. Take out some shocks. Put in some Missile Dispute, some Spell Pierce, just some counters overall. And now looking at it, I probably should have put a Braid in too, just as a way to kill that Golos and didn't. So not the most optimal sideboarding on my part, but again, this is my first time ever playing the deck. And probably last, honestly. This deck's just not really for me. Opener, we had a mulligan yet again. This time we get a solid one. And poor Treasure Cruise. We just have to bottom that thing every time. So with this hand, we go ahead and start off with a little Shivan Reef action and pass the turn. Mana Pot's turn, he starts off with the Grillgill Gate and passes it back to us. So we're free to play Thing in the Ice here. Can't imagine they have too much removal for it, which is good for us. So play a little Thing and pass the turn. So now we're just really looking for a way to pitch that Arclight Phoenix. See what he decides to do here. Just plays a Breeding Pool tapped. Ships it back over to us. Go to draw here. And we draw a Spirebluff Canal. Right on time to play untapped. Welcome to the party, my friend. Here we just hold up Fiery Temper. I mean, we just really have nothing to do against this deck. This deck's honestly, any of these kind of filled decks or things with no creatures, pretty rough. But there you go. Follow him at ManaPotM on Twitter. That's a cool thing about MTGO. I like having chat. I've not really ran anybody toxic yet on there. It's nice just to talk to people when you're playing against them. So they go to end step here. We go ahead and decide to just shock him. We're not really worried about the Elvis Rejuvenator. So we're going to try to throw it away anyways. So we shoot him for 3, pass the turn. Now we have a decision. We can hardcast the Arclight Phoenix, or we can chart a course. Decisions. We decided to just play it safe. Just play a little chart a course. We get a Thing and a Shivan Reef. We pitched the Phoenix, and looking back again, maybe I should have just hard casted the Phoenix there, start swinging in for 3, and then we still have the Charted Course and Fiery Temper coming up next turn. But I don't hate what I did there, just think it wasn't quite the most optimal line I could have went with. So we got 2 things on board, one of them is 2 counters away from flipping. Not too shabby. Mana Pot's turn, let's see what he's got. He's got another Elvish Rejuvenator. So these are kind of feel bad when you send them back to hand because you don't want to do that. But at the same time, like if they have to pay the 3 mana and get it down again, it's not a huge deal for you usually. Unless Field of the Dead activations are going on, and then it feels real bad. So here we have the Fiery Temper. We're looking for like a really cheap thing that we can possibly get so we can flip these and start swinging. Really need to get a clock on them here. So draw set's pretty important here. We find an island, however. Not it. We play the island, pass the turn, hoping to not see a Golos come down here. But we're still in an okay spot because we can Fiery Temper end a turn, and we have a thing in the ice that has just any non-creature spell will flip it. So that's pretty good for us. So he's tapping that magical 5 mana, and Golos, the Tireless Pilgrim, coming down. Seeing what he gets here. You know, usually you'd be expecting a Field of the Dead here, but not a filled deck for our sakes. Not that it would have really mattered in this game, I don't think. The way we were kind of sequencing these things in the ice is they were going to be flipping one turn after the other, more than likely. So our friend Mana Pot, he's searching, he's thinking, he's looking. Gets his land down. He's got all 5 killers now. And he's got a Grazer. See if that puts land on the battlefield as well. It does. So now really looking to shoot them in the face, try to get some swings on real fast. If we shoot them for 3 with Fiery Temper here, we get them down to 14, so we can somehow flip both these things in the ice, then we have lethal. The odds of that kind of low, but we're trying. So shoot them in the face, none of these creatures really matter right now. And hoping on this upkeep that we get, or on our draw step, we get something nice. And the draw is an opt. Opt was probably about the best draw we could have had there because we opt here and then find another answer. So we opt. And he calls the game there. Not